Hello, this is FG back with you for Anbennar. Today we are playing as Xanzerbexis, or the Hill Gnolls as they were previously known. They actually have a mission tree in the Bitbucket build, so we are going to be experiencing that just a little bit. Okay, let's go with Improve Relations. And we want to build... We'll need to take out some loans. Alright. It is well known that the Gnolls are is something. I don't know what that word is. While respectful of power, any authority beyond Fang's reach is bound to be short-lived in any Gnoll pack worthy of its name. It is therefore comes as no surprise that the Golod wishes to impose a new system on the Kinnick range. This new Vrestruck system will demand tribute in the form of pups from the most influential families in the country. These pups will then be brought to Akaz Lokat as hostages to ensure good behavior. While the Vrestuck's curbs unrest, it also serves a second purpose. After all, rather than simply hold the hostages, why not train them? Teach them obedience to our pack, reward them for services rendered, and punish insubordination harshly. A pup will enter the Vrestuck's hostage, but they will leave it. Well, they will never leave it, but they will learn to serve something greater than family. They will learn to serve the pack. The hut was small, too small for the pack of gnolls who had all squeezed into the huddle around the fireplace. The flames were the only light, reflecting 24 pairs of hungry gnollish eyes. Uren, one of the pairs, was hungry as well. This by itself was not unusual. He had been hungry since he had been captured, or rather, given his tribute to the Hill Throne. The pack elders snarled, growled, and spat and cursed, but they relented. He had been chosen, then shipped off to Akaz Lokax like so many more. But he still remembered the cart. Some rolling Busalari chicken coop remade into a prison on wheels. By all the powers below, he'd kill for a chicken. And now he was here. A storm of violence later. Training, they had called it. Testing. They had starved him, beaten him day after day. How long? He didn't know. None of them did, but today was different. He could smell it. When the Golud entered the hut, Uren and everyone else knew who she was. She was bigger than any other gnoll here. Her scent was regal, and her bearing spoke of might. A simple iron band rested on her brow, 86 gnoll fangs attached to the ring with wyvern bone nails. She sat down by the fireplace and began to speak, her voice ringing out against the gloom, and the fireplace burning it in hungry eyes. My Vrestutex, she began. Uren shifted. Vrestutex, Hill's Eyes. It had been their name ever since they were taken. A hostage, and yet something else, something more. A hostage didn't need training, didn't need punishment, and a hostage wasn't killed for failure. When you came here, you each carried your tribe with you, 86 packs at war with one another. But if we are to live, and if we are to conquer, there can only be one pack. Your elders did not understand this. The Golod stared out across the fireplace. The dozen pinpricks of light faded, and the gaze of the pack downcast to avoid her gaze. But I think you do. Today, your training ends. War comes to the Kinnick, and it is war we will win. She spoke evenly, as if stating a fact. You will return to your tribes, and you will tell them that the Hill Throne goes to war. You will tell them that loyal service will be rewarded with land, spoils, and slaves aplenty. Any pack waging war in my name will have a seat at my fire. A pause, then a snort. And any pack who refuses will have a place on my pyre. The Golod stood to her full height, looming over the pack. Uren bowed his head, as did his peers. He already knew there would be no refusal. His pack had given him over to this. They were weak, but he would show them strength. His stomach growled. Anyone raising objection would die. He would not fail the Hill Throne. Your loyal service will be rewarded. Now go. The Golod remained still while the pack exploded into motion around her. The Vrestutex stepping over each other to be the first into the breach. They knew the Hill Throne did not suffer indolence. They run as if the whips of their masters are behind them. So, we are going to take a save here, because there's almost certainly going to be some level of reloading, given, our position. Alright, so we are going to... Alright, that's good. And we can declare war on the 11th and the 19th. Alright. Alright. Alright, we're gonna have to take out a lot of loans. Navally, we're not gonna be able to do anything, and that's okay. They have military tech advantage, but no tactics, just morale. Whereas we, being gnolls, have unit advantage, because we have 5 pips, and I believe they only have... Norians, I think, only have 3 or 4 to start off with. We have pretty decent racial modifiers. Yeah, we'll go with the true exemplar of the community. Alright, what is this? Hills. No, we can't take that. Alright. Alright. We will actually go ahead and do that. Scorch this. And... instead of getting another infantry, we'll simply hire the mercenaries right here. Yeah, we'll take the Diplo power. And I will take another infantry. Human mine. Yeah, do that. Alright. Again. Slow this down a bit. And then we don't... let's see. This has already been scorched. Yes, it has. They will be pretty well over the what's it called? Again, like I said, this is going to require a lot of reloading. Yep, right here. Alright, take a save this time. Fort here? We do not actually have a fort there. Yeah, we'll go ahead and scorch that. And I will also throw this down and one of these down. Let's try and take a battle directly here. Alright. Eberthil's giving us stuff, because why wouldn't they? What's the capital? Pain. Interesting. Right here, we do this. Siege down Stonehold. Alright, those guys are gone. That's kind of just whatever. They start with a mage ruler? No. Is he even half-elven? Nope. Right. These provinces. Alright. So with this, we'll grab a fort, and with this, we'll actually grab some real provinces. This will give us how many provinces? 2, 3, 4, 5. 13 development. Okay. Yeah, let's just do... Yeah, let's do this. And then we can... Yeah, I'll go ahead and get this. And then take that. Pour this up. Alright. And we want to take that. And what else? Own country, economy action. Shit. Need to pick another country that doesn't have as much aggressive expansion. Alright. So we do this. Take this. And... I don't know, we just kind of begin working on doing that. And take that off. Fire this advisor. Take this one. Alrighty. Could we possibly form an alliance with literally anyone? That would be super nice. Alright, so I need 100 ducats to build something here. Do we have any gold provinces? No. Alright, gather a garrison. With the 86 tribes unified, one would think that the hard part is over, and nothing could be further from the truth. The Kinnock Range is surrounded by foes, from Vern to the west to Busalar in the east. These hostile human heathens will pounce on any opportunity to crush us before we can grow strong enough to threaten them. While gnolls are always on war footing, we will need to shore up our defenses further and prepare every gnoll, from pup to greymane, for the war to come. Let the humans come. Their dead will feed the soil of the Kinnock Range. And what strength they field against us, we shall make ours, one corpse at a time. Alright, that's going to be very relevant. And we have an unassigned merchant. Collecting from here, transfer from here. What happened to my fleet? It's right here. We actually have a decent fleet to start the game off with. That is insane. Usually our fleets are absolutely useless. And with this, we now make money. So exciting. Good start. We only had to fight Tellum. Alright. Let's take a look at some other stuff. Monstrous nations. Alright, so we only have, right now, where is it? Minus... Actually, I have positive improved relations. We just need to core stuff up first. And we will actually accept the Busolari, probably. A lot of waiting. Yep. Seize land. Renaissance. Okay, we're gonna go spy on Napes Bay. Yeah, Scotty refugees. Okay, so... that makes life easier, maybe? They aren't allied to Sagamba or Everthil, which is the big ones. We will, of course. We'll core this up. We'll core that up. Take this. Need someone who isn't her. What are we at war with? Literally just Everthil. Are they tech? No, they're just tech 3. Oh, and we're at war with Deshak. This isn't the worst thing in the world. Although losing our navy is not great. Ooh, we are careful. Alright. Go ahead and take a save here. And go ahead and hire the monstrous rabble back. We do have a fort here still, right? Or what that fort managed to build, it did. Right. Kind of. This is monstrous or anti-monstrous conquest. Alright. Don't quite understand why they're going there, but whatever. I don't like these sieges. It's my excuse for going backwards. They don't have ticking war score. Oh yeah, they resieged that. I'm stupid. Jesus. Alright. Dynastic hierarchies, reign in the tribes, learning by doing. Government reform progress. I don't think we're going to be doing anything with the vassals, so plundered knowledge is probably the best for us. Alright, we should now have ticking war score, I believe. Be honest, this has gone shockingly well. Miracle of life. Alright, so what we want is these. And we want to continue improving. Yeah. Alright, so I want those provinces definitely. Oh good, we got a breach. There we are. I take just that. This, and then that. And the alliance with Vern. This will nearly be promising trader. How much more war score can we get? 18. Yep. Yep, they're from here. Alright, so this is not enough to form a coalition. Yeah. Shit. Nope, don't do that. Don't do this. Another type of monster found in Bucelar are the gnolls. While they once brought terror from the borders to the Lion's Pass, Xanzerbexis beat them back into the mountainous borders with Vern. They remain to this day merely raiding to satisfy their animal lusts and demonic masters. While some have been hired by Anbennarian princes, they do not possess the numbers or martial skills to challenge the armies of Bucelar in open battle. Rakan of Port Jahair, Bucelari scholar in the Chronicles of the Kingdom of the Stone Lion. When we descended upon the Bucelari, it was not down from the hills and straight into their fortress walls. It was from smugglers' trails and forests, and from everywhere the human armies were not. We ripped through them from behind, the roar of demons shrieking in their ears. They ran, leaving us in control of the battlefield, but not yet victorious. From here, there is still one who calls himself the King of Bucelar, and the Kingdom of the Hills still cries out for her lost lands. Nonetheless, it is a start. Alright. We'll do this. And then we will build spy network on Napes Bay. And do that. Indlebury. Alright. Indlebury. Where is it? Economy actions. Alright, the brain marrow pact. Is there someone else who I'd prefer to have as a historical friend? Histrolore, actually. Didn't realize that gave me a historical friend. Although I will need to see how much money it requires to actually pay them off. Economy actions. So, like 100 ducats. Okay, that's not super bad. Who do they have? Sisterand as a rival. And Scamber makes sense to rival. Of course, religious unity here. Oh, we don't need that right now. I do kind of wonder what the pitch is when when a gnoll tries to convert a human to Zavacult. Hey, you want to worship the devil, kids? Um... Eleven Magi. Let me take this off. And then drop this fort for the moment. How do I see Sokka? Okay. 50 Diplo power is great for free. I want this to be converted. I think it's probably gonna go next. Yeah. Ah, yes, that explains that. And I want to improve with some outrage countries. Again, we're just waiting for the old aggressive expansion to go down. Disagreeing advisor, I'll take that. Now invite a scholar. I really like to get a Demon of the Sorrow. Okay, we'll throw another infantry down here. Everyone is very upset with us for the whole, you know, conquest and murder thing. Alright. Go ahead and just reduce the autonomy in all these places. I can make a bit more money. Rapid development due to humans. Alright. And that. Get 2 more infantry, just to ensure we can really overrun the enemy when we finally fight them. Alright. Now, who's the emperor right now? I won't be getting them on side. History War, however, I might be able to do. I don't know if we actually get to be part of the Empire, but if we do, having Istra as a historical friend would be really good. Because we would be able to get them to support us. Okay, I'm gonna actually put a spy network here. Last clutch. Go ahead and start building a couple more barks again. Been very good on our crown land, which is great. Set Elven Craftsman. Nature of the free market, no edict. Yep, do that. We will initiate some pulls here. Alright. Take this, give him this Admiral, protect trade Neberthil. Is that our heir? Nope. Alright. Let me send a gift. The Brain Marrow Pact. Gnolls are the strongest race. This is common knowledge both among the 86 pack and our usual targets and employers. Recently, however, both our raiders and mercenaries have had increasing difficulty on the battlefield. Whether it is walls of pikes, armored knights, or so-called guns that sound like demons unleashed, new innovations have taken their toll on our armies. To rectify this, our Golod has decreed henceforth all mercenaries working abroad must send a piece of knowledge back to the hills every 5 years. Those who comply shall be named brain marrows, for just as a warrior devours the brain marrow of their sustenance, Xanzerbexis shall survive on what is within the brains of the humans. As for those who do not comply, they shall face the wrath of not false demons of metal and powder, but of the true demons and their mortal partners. Alright. And then hold fast to the old ways. Forced evolution. Yep. I'm gonna take that. And in terms of aggressive expansion, hypothetically, Istralor. What if we insult? All right. Cool. Just saying, what is this? Armored Hyena Riders. It's 9,000, 6,000. So that's quite a lot. Alright. I'm actually going to take another cavalry. If I just declare war on them. Alright, declare war. Trade league with a bunch of people. 29,000, 26,000. Would I ever be able to get Istralor on side? Yes. Influence action. Great favors. How much favors do I get? Do need to develop that province, though. Development of 25. Yep, go get an improved relations advisor. Do we have a missionary strength? Yes, not really, though. Do that. Already seaman. Yeah. Funny. Take that, obviously. Alright. Tech-wise, we are equal on tech. Yeah, okay. Here's with Everthil and Deshak has ended. We don't have any claims on them. Not. Oh, then. Why not? Despite the fact we're monstrous, we're actually quite well liked. Which is interesting. Oh, we're not hated, I suppose, is most accurate. They don't all just hate us. Elven bandits. Alright. Influence. Let them hold their meeting. Let's go with... Well, I can wait just a little bit. Alright. Do a monstrous conquest. And we will back this way, and we will. What's this? Favorite actions, let's find network here. What I want to be doing is basically wiping their armies out before they can get together. Fuck, I hate sieging. Right. Ritual of appeasement. Alright, we could potentially get Moonhaven on side, although I started this war, damn it. Alright, so I can take this with 8 aggressive expansion, and I did co-belligerate everyone else, just so I could actually take provinces. Everyone, well, from, not everyone, but Hortisair, without Anbennar flipping the hell out. Alright. Is there anyone we can knock out of the war? No. Right. Why is there so many damn forts and boosts more? Excellent. 15% aggressive expansion. Sign me up. Really should have been raiding coasts, although maybe not. Maybe admin. Cillian, get in here, buddy. Alright, who is willing to get out? I would really like to piece these two out in one war, so I can get an idea of what the actual damage will be aggressive expansion-wise. I don't... kind of dealing with aggressive expansion issues as... or, corruption issues as is, so... I don't think I'm going to take tech. I will use that to, I'm going to have to take government reform progress. Please just let me siege this. Yeah. Alright, who is willing to get out? Minotaur. Nope. Alright. Shit. Ooh. Damn, another great general. So hypothetically, if I took this... Alright. If I separate piece them out... I don't think I can do that. If I just piece them out this way... How much money could I get from them? 105 ducats. What do I do? Alright, Menabor. Out of the war. Alright, we're done. Let's go with Everthil. 350 admin power. Alright. And then we only need one of these forts. Protect the clutch. The last clutch. Oh, no, I gotta leave that fort up. Right. Now. Yeah, we're allied. Moonhaven. Now, just need to do that, and these guys need to protect trade and Everthil. And I can plonk a few development down there. Monist heretics. No. Gotta drop all these forts down. That should help the income. Definitely does. You know what? I don't need to do this. Research development. development doesn't need 25, and then level 2 simple trade. Alright, 25 development. Trader. Hey, Vycock. Oh, nope. Favors. Trade favors for crowns. That's a boat. Alright. More boats. Diplomat. Alright, cores, more cores. Alright. Times of need. Proposal of the mages. To Grand Duchy. Who the hell is the Emperor? I wonder if it's Wesdam. And let's go ahead and roll her. Gnolls are natural hunters, and nowhere is this truer than the Kinnack Range, where we have hunted wyverns since settling the range. The wyvern is part of our people, as we use every piece of the kill. Moreover, the savagery, hunting instincts, and brute strength of the wyvern are all traits that we readily appreciate. Unfortunately, wyverns have become rare. Overhunting by ourselves and the humans have forced the wingworms into decline, and it follows that only the strongest wyverns remain, far up in the Kinnack Range. Yet as our realm expands, the demand for wyverns and their products have expanded with it. Wyvern venom especially has seen a meteoric rise in use by our armies, and only a fool neglects their army when war is on the horizon. Let us gather an expedition of our most grizzled hunters and mountaineers. We will scour the peaks of the Kinnack Range for the greatest of wingworm. Their strength will be our strength, and the spoils of the hunt will be all the sweeter for the pain of the chase. The throw had been true. From above there was a massive screech of pain that rattled the stones of the high Kinnack peaks, echoing its bare cliff faces and carried by whipping blizzard winds. A large shadow flittered back and forth behind the curtains of snow, and splashes of hot blood landed around the hunters as their wounded quarry as it flew ever higher. The gnolls barked and yipped, following their pack leaders up the mountain path to follow the Crimson Trail. But when they finally crested the final cliff edge, even the veteran hunter was surprised. The wyvern mother had not flown off alone, but had retreated to its nest, an unusual move for the secretive creatures. Wordlessly, the hunting pack leader stepped forward, intending to face the unusual situation herself. The wyvern drew itself up to its full height and snarled at the gnoll with the imperious pride of its dragon kin. Then it leaned its head down to snick and lift the spear that embedded its chest, fashioned from the barbed tail of a wyvern. With one final look at its clutch and a final choked whine, the wyvern supplicated itself before the pack hunter. After a moment, the master hunter stood, covered in the spoils of past wyvern hunts. Wielding the barbed wyvern spear, this creature mistook the gnoll as another of its kind, a superior hunter, and now it submitted, hoping its eggs would be spared. life they would have. But what kind? Alright, so we will need to develop this a little bit. Alright. That. Military power. Workshop. And then a defensive edict. Alright. And then we want to protect trade in Everthil. They're nearly the strongest power. Alright. Need more infantry. Protect trade in Everthil. Do we have 75%? We do not. Economy action. Issue embargo. Alright. I believe 14 should be enough. And put this. Nope, can't do anything with that port. Alright. Alrighty. This can come off. Strangle their trade. While one could be forgiven for dismissing human martial prowess on land, the furless whelp seemed to obtain both confidence and competence at sea. The Reaver Kingdom of Tef, now styling itself Everthil, has been the naval hegemon of the Divinal for most of its history, and many a Nullish pirate has seen a swift end to their career through the cannon fire by an Everthili warship. This demands a certain respect, but also exposes a simple fact. For Xanzerbexis to survive in Busanor, Everthili naval dominance must be broken. Let us consolidate our raiders into a battle fleet worthy of name, and let us embark to test the mettle of the Everthili navy once more, not as mere pirates, but as a true naval power. Alright. Let me see if I can just through relations up with them. And we'll take this off. Send an insult. Call diplomat. Alright. And we need... Let's build a couple galleys to at least do something. Alright. Early naval focus. Siege engineers, yeah. Free ship. Who is Everthil allied to? Vern and Napes Bay. Alright. Point. And we'll go ahead and take these two. It's about time. And we can get more infantry to bulk our numbers up a little bit. Alright. Man, who's Sestrand also at war with? They're defending against Wax. Excellent. Economy actions. Crest a share map of West Dame's Head. Okay. I'll go right this way. He's been raided. These have been raided. That has not been raided. Alright, head this way. I'm gonna raid that because I do want to be allied with Moonhaven now to really make them upset. Actually, let's get 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Viacaka Aid. I was hoping to get that at some point. Oh yeah, I need to build a fort here, I think. Yes. Give me your money. Excellent. Espionage, yeah. Right. And this needs a level 2 center of trade. Let me drop all of my forts. And these guys can stay here while these fleets protect trade. Alright, now Istralor, let me... some point... Yes. Request to share maps of... Divinal Sea. Alrighty. Vern. Yes, I hate you, Vern. Alrighty. I'm gonna use all of that money to improve this. And we will settle the Hillthrone Knolls over there. Oh, our charismatic negotiator. Okay, we do need to do that. Commercial life on the ocean. Make sure we get our forts nice and stocked up. Men. Alright. Block the mountains. It is well known that a worth of a Gnoll's life is measured in relationships. Our nation is no different, with much of our wealth being derived from our new Busalari subjects. After an initial period of cowering and fear, most peasants opted to return to their lives, merely paying tribute to us instead of the monarchs and Hapiane. Over time, however, many have become disillusioned without rule, opting instead to flee into the borders and bow to the emperor whose the Stone Lion defied for so long. This trend cannot continue. Just think of the economy. Thankfully, we know a thing or two about containing people due to our long imprisonment in the Kenok Range. We shall establish fortifications in the major passes, preventing the movement to the north. Even the most isolated tracts will be guarded, their locations known to us from centuries of smuggling. All of this will be done by special border guard units, trained to both keep our subjects and our enemies out. Korea Pearler squinted into the midnight gloom as the horse pulling her family's wagon stopped abruptly. Behind her, her husband and children were sleeping, and ahead, the road fell into darkness. And yet a sound. Paws on gravel. Coria cocked her crossbow. Her horse whickered nervously. Something grunted in the darkness, something big. Peace, a voice rang out from the murk, heavy and accented. Your tongue, foreign to me. You, Korea Pearler, yes? Who asks, lurking in the darkness? Coria's voice was even, braced by a courage she did not feel. I am Urin Vestux. No wish to scare your horse. The voice was circling, now off to the left. You go north, many gnolls there. They kill any man they find. You want to flee to Busanor, but I tell you, stay. You belong to Hillthrone. You are pact now. One of your cubs become Vrestex. It will be a good life, but not a free life. We will be slaves. No, Caro, Vraka, farmer in your tongue. And you will just let us go home? Why should we trust you? No trust. Your cub become Vristex. Our cubs become Vristex. Then maybe trust. Think before you go north to die. What is this? Vreskex. Coria's voice rang out in the night, but the darkness offered no reply. It is only when Coria pulled the cart off the road to wake her family and debate this ominous visit that she realized one of her sons was missing. That's it. I'm turning this cart around. Alright. Just run amok. Alright. Alrighty, do that. Alrighty. These loans are brutal. Alright. Everthil. Show superiority. This needs defensive edict anyways. Let us invite. Let's actually do ritual of appeasement. Welcome to the war, Istralor. Yep, take that. Do need this. All right. This is regrettable. This. All right. Ooh, this guy is amazing. Alrighty. Right. So with this, it's 40 aggressive expansion. I do kind of want that island. I'll probably need it at some point. So I'll go ahead and take it. As it's technically part of a state. Alright. That. And for them, I want this. Cash. Like all those things, but I'm willing to take less. Why are we sieging this so quickly? Oh, we just have good siege ability, huh? I'll take the prestige. Alright, so Vern. Alright. Need this because I need to build this right here. Alright. And Napes Bay. Don't want to scorch that. Do that though. Close that. And then I guess I can hold off for a second. Spy on Wyvern. And then I want to do that. Alright, return to the old capital. The city of Zalgarfier, or Port Jahair as the Busalari call it, is the greatest city in Busanor. Straddling the Hapain estuary, with hills gently rising to the north and west, the nearby farmland, natural deepwater port, and defensible location, Zalgarfier is the beating heart of the entire region, and now, through blood, sweat, and tenacity, it is ours. Hill-thrown banners fly proudly from broken battlements, and the newly conquered Busalari can only look on in shock and dismay as our soldiers march through the ruins of their capital. And yet the siege, the storm, and the conquest was only the beginning. Zalgarfier is too vital a city to simply sack and abandon. Instead, it must be reforged into a more fitting seat of power for the rising Golod of Xanzerbexis. Starting with the name. Port Xanzerbexis. Alright. And we can now go protect the clutch. Depletion of the Kinnack Wyvern. It is said that nothing worth doing is ever easy, and this is perhaps the one thing humans and gnolls agree on. Our recent discovery has set the court ablaze with speculation, and some of the Ivimkarog already boast of Wyvern cavalry to rival the Vernmen to the west, but logistically it is a nightmare. The clutch was found in the most forbidding peaks of Hogzad, and the prospect of building anything more permanent than a lean-to that far up the Kinnack range has our advisors scratching their heads. We could take their eggs down to the lowlands, but the change in climate could ruin them. Fortunately, the tribes of the Kinnack are nothing if not resourceful. We will set our best minds to the task and put our most rugged mountaineers to hauling material into the peaks, by paw if need be. The wyverns themselves prove invaluable yet again, wyvern-bone tools being lighter than their iron counterparts and just as sturdy. The Hodzod Wingworm Nursery will be the first of its kind, and only through gnollish cunning will it even be possible. So We get a worse modifier. Rolling Stones. No, don't do that. Great. Alrighty. Now, any owned troll pop. Xanzerbexis needs 30 development. Yeah, I can do that. Erot, would you like to share maps of Catarata? To share maps of Has this already been rated? As about 100 relations. Right, our way forward. Improvements in production tech, in the admin. Right. Alright, there we are. Why can't we be friends? Alright, our way forward. The war is over. The kingdom of Busalar has been cast down. Its cities have been razed and its armies routed, and its people now forced to kneel to a new throne, the Hill Throne. Yet now its people give us pause. In spite of the war, many human survivors linger in the ruins of their broken nation, and in most new territories they outnumber us significantly. The Zabba offers a simple answer. Enslave the humans and offer their flesh to the Zab. It is our way, and the way of our ancestors, and the fate of the weak to serve as a bloody feast for the strong. And yet, some in our court speak of another path. We always assumed that our rule of Busanar would be to the detriment of the human population, but the Busalari peasantry have been unusually cooperative, especially in the lands of the Evenkrog. Their attitude, live and let live, so long as the taxes are paid, seem popular with the humans, and there is a theory And there is, in theory, no reason we cannot do the same. Govern well, win over the populace, and make the young nation a place where people, human or null, can live. If not in harmony, at least in detente. The Zabba cult calls this heresy, but the cult does not rule Busanor, nor do they pay taxes for that matter. Perhaps this is worth a try. New model army. Yep. You know, we'll just stop converting, why not? Oop. Alright. And... need... improve relations with them. Encourage development. Right. Government reform is at least 200. Let's go with shipboarding. Same as thematic. Gnolls are kind of piratey. Excellent. Yeah, let's actually employ some level 1 advisors. Home in the Hills. Gnollish custom places great power in names, and there is no coincidence that many Gnollish terms arise from people. The eastern domain of Tuluk bears the name Golad Tuluk. There is little distinction between the person and the domain. So too has it been in Xanzerbexis, with the name of the Golad being synonymous for the country. And yet, with Busanar under our rule, some now ask for something different. More than anyone, it is the Evkamrog, which translates to the dyed thieves who howl for change. As our military elite, the Evim Kevarog, bled the most, fought the hardest, and saw the greatest gains during our conquest of Busolar. It is known that it was the Basan Dead Dogs who stormed the gates of Zalgothiar, mostly because they will not shut up about it. Ikem Varog have over the last few years consolidated into something resembling human nobility. While this is worrying, they seem well suited for ruling over the Busolari subjects, who, for their part, much prefer the rule of worldly mercenaries to the bloody fist of the crown. The Evimkarog have adopted the outlandish custom of dyeing their fur, so perhaps a compromise can be reached. The crown will expand Port Xanzerbexis and invest in the dye industry. The Evimkarog will submit to a crown monopoly on dyes, and thus they will tie themselves close to the nation, literally wearing our colors. In exchange, we will abolish the name Xanzerbexis and instead let our fledgling nation bear the age-old name Groxrock, our home in the hills. Alright. Any known... Alright. We're now the Hill Throne Kingdom, which we give Condontieri. What am I doing this for? It'd be much easier to do this. Relations... Total... Brain Marrow success. The Brain Marrow Pact, for all of its rough edges, helped us greatly in evening the playing field against the Busolari. Kynorian innovations that once gave us pause are now countered by strategies of our own, and the Kynorian cannon is now largely outmatched by our own heavier pieces, forged in superior foundries and exploiting greater Nolish strength to the fullest. Our victory over Busolar serves as the final proof that the Brain Marrow Pact, born of desperation and necessity, has become obsolete. We now hold cities with center of learning, academies where military thinkers no longer salvage the scraps of Kynorian minds, but they build new strategies of their own. As such, the Hill Throne has decreed that it is from this day henceforth the Brain Marrow Pact is abolished. Let me actually just see what the Brain Marrow Pact looks like. Well, I can't get them though. What is our monstrosity like? Very monstrous. Let's go with... Now, this, we can get that land back very quickly. Right of council. And neighbor raid, I suppose. Shamans can get just diplomats and oversight. Should probably give them something else to keep them happy. Or maybe not. Let's go with curtail noble privileges and centralized. State maintenance, banded royal court, and maintain the balance of power. Enterprise and private trade fleets. State needs the money. We do. So we need to build up. Are we allowed to raid? Still. We are. We will take this, and we can come back this way, and we can this and protect trade in Eberthil. Alright, and we can go right here and economy action, send gift. Gnolls, trolls, and tolls. After defeating all our Busanori rivals, we now possessed land on both sides of the Lion's Path, the crucial strait between the Isle of Teth and the Kynorian mainland. This rich trade artery, often plied by ships who don't want to risk the storms and pirates of the open Divinal, is currently untaxed due to our lack of trade expertise. However, a solution to the problem has recently presented itself. Courtesy of our new human subjects, it appears that it is common knowledge across Canor that trolls are great at collecting tolls, and one particularly harebrained advisory has even devised a way they can do so in the sea. We shall put in an order to the slave markets of the north. Gnolls need trolls for tolls. Captain Thomas smirked from the helm of his ship, which, with its lanterns extinguished, was barely visible in the bare moonlight. Off to the south, Busanar was a dim shadow on the horizon, speckles of firelight dotting the coast, the only evidence of life. The wind was favorable and their passage quiet. He had heard the nobles had instituted some absurd toll to use the Lion's Pass, trying to pretty up their piracy under another name and stimulate shameless and simultaneously shameless and pretentious. He had boasted back in Crathanor that he had been plying the waters around Tef for decades and had never paid a copper to any reaver, and he had no intention to start now. For some reason, not all of his fellow captains had cheered his bravado. The blaring of horns from the south, echoed by similar horns from the north after a moment, made the rest of the crew tense and worried, but Thomas was unconcerned. He smirked and made a dismissive wave. "Cowards! Why are you worried? There's no ship ahead and we have wind at our backs. First mate, get the rowers moving full sprint. They will never catch us now." His confidence was shaken when he saw bright columns of magical light spearing through the darkness of the northern and southern coast, which rapidly swept the pass before locking onto his ship. Revealed as surely as it had been noon on a summer's day, he whirled and began to shout before being silenced by a bright pink stone striking square in his chest, knocking him to the deck. Soon there was a rain of stones and weights in a dizzying array of colors, shredding the sails and sending the crew scurrying for cover in a loud panic. From the shore, two trolls squinted into the distance. One was significantly happier than the other, seemingly marking a prominent line on his tally stone. "I got the shouty one. Lucky throw. You'll never do it again. Double or nothing. Never deny a troll its toll." That's very funny. It is right here, and there's another one, right? Is that it? Yeah, just one province. Alright. Alright. Now I can take my two little galleys and go raiding over here. Let's see if I can raid Echo. Nope. Worth a try. Alright, protect trade in Eberthil. God, we make so much money. We'll just add that to trade company. Language lessons. Yep, let's do that. Alright, reinvigorate the mines. That one's good. Put one there. Put one there as well. Halfling Minister, yep. Protect trade in Eberthil. We're gonna be so rich. Do that later. Priest enlistment. Nera. Good for them. Go ahead and do that, just in case. Here we are. I can take offensive ideas. Go ahead and do that once. They're meeting. I need transports. Ugh. All right. Actually, let's go with trade instead. And go with this. Grab Corvaria back. And tell them to go fuck themselves. And seize the land back. So we can go ahead and not have any debuffs. Crown land possession. Influence actions. Montieri. Nope. Alliance actions. Not too much fighting happening in the Empire right now. Integrate the mines. Do that. Do this. This. Cult of Many Faces. As the saying goes, ask 10 different gnolls what the Zabacult is, and you'll get 11 different answers. This is what the Zabacult truly is, a collection of folk traditions, rituals, and practices rather than an organized religion. However, such details escape the civilized world. To them, the Zabacult is merely a bastion of demon worship with no nuance or cultural history. As we progress down the path of joining the civilized world, perhaps it would be best for us to abandon the more demonic elements of our faith. Mercenary in practice, mercenary in faith. We will adopt the gods of the Regent Court. Yep, we will definitely do that. Actually just put everyone on Force Religious Unity. Who do we want? Yeah, we'll go with Costellos. And let's find a conversion speed advisor. Or not. Right. Good diplomatic faux pas. Vermin separatist, alright. Monetary reforms, no. Then we can go with this. Because I do like sieges. Alrighty. We'll take that. Advisor costs are always good. Everlasting Friendship, Rise of a Pretender. Let's go. Careful. I'll go with Costello's for the moment. And do this. Work hard to reconcile our differences. We should win that battle. Alright. Stop converting. Excellent. Alright. This, get this. And you'll gain an additional base production when you increase. That is crazy. Busenor has long been renowned for its copper, with the metal being both plentiful and easily accessible in the Kinnack range. For obvious reasons, the Busolari have had difficulty assessing these deposits, instead favoring smaller mines in the hills of Busolar proper. These mines are poorer than the ones in the Kinnack range, but human technological advances still endow them with considerable annual yield. With the unification of Erot Grock, we now sit in an enviable position. The vast mines of the Kinnack range are within our grasp, and so are the mining advancements of the Busolari. Let us put our human subjects to use, refurbishing our mines and scaling up our production. Alright. So let us... so who is the Emperor right now? I'd really like to join the Empire, to be honest. Be very convenient. So everyone should hate me a lot less now, which would be nice. Okay. No, can't do that. Do that. Cause is just, favored by the gods, Riala, crew relations. The following, okay, we'll just need to recover our, what's it called? Our prestige. Whatever. Royal marriage with Vycock is ended. Where is it? Is there really not a single war going on in Canor? Hello, good sir. Reconquest. Water. Unite our cousins. Right. Do need to spy on Wyvern. Glad I needed to do that. For our brothers. It was a rainy day in Port Xanzerbexis. Reconstruction was still ongoing, and as such, the court was held in a great tent. The inside was hot, cramped, and smelled of wet fur. Galantine I was pacing around one of her subjects who was feeling increasingly unwelcome. You make it sound easy, Freskex, a rarity in war. It will be, Golud, the human replied in Nolish. Spoken by a human, it sounded meek. Gallient the First could smell fear, but it wasn't showing. Someone had taught them well. Our spies in Nathalier claim the folly is full of gnolls. The city itself cowers behind the waters. With your fleet, the sea will be their grave. Do you believe the gnolls of the folly will join us? I do. They live in squalor. This is a better life. Why would they refuse? Gallient the First could think of a few reasons, but her Restex had always given her good intelligence, especially since the inclusion of humans. Humans blend in with humans. In these days, she had more human subjects than gnolls. This was what she was trying to balance. But Gold was nothing if not pragmatic. Scribe, she barked. An older human snapped to attention, his white beard streaked with ink. Gallien the First began to dictate. A policy for settling Daravin's folly began to take shape. She offered her Reskex a glance, then grunted. You are dismissed. Alright, the folly has already been settled. But, yes, we will have to deal with that. Nathalier, Gamber, and whatnot. Alright, need more galleys. Let's go with 10 galleys in a fleet. New model army. Yep. Decrease the monstrosity. Strengthen their rights. Right, and we'll take this and get the Skullcross Ravagers. Alright. Birth of colonialism. Who got colonialism? Benail. Yep, that makes sense. And we will have no edict there. Any other copper provinces are there? There's a couple over in Vern. If I was to go fight Vern, I'd be breaking a truce. Istrolor would join in. However, I could get Istrolor to break their alliance. Favors... Who hates them? Pearl's Edge, Moonhaven. Could I get Moonhaven to join? Yes? Maybe? About Nathalier. Absolutely. Barely even an issue. Alright. The issue, though, here will be actually getting on to Nathalier. But with Moonhaven and Istrolor's Navy combined, it should be less of a problem. I would really like to join Empire, although I guess I am too large. That fucking sucks. Have good siege ability, though. Army career. Take the tradition. Really let me get a general. This guy can take him. Go over this way, take the cannons, head back this way. This army needs them. Ready. Nice, good fleet. Oh, we lost that badly. There goes our fleet. Oh well. Say la vie. Haha, you guys actually thought I was gonna lose my fleet. Ah, shit. Right, and get together. Take that. Clergy, improve our prestige. I can definitely do that. Right, who all is in this war? Amber, Tellum, Corvuria. So Gamber I can get out. Monsters in war. Fight with dignity. I can get down to at least partially monstrous. That'd be great. Right, that was easy. Victory. And... Alright. So Gamber want to get out of the war. Would be quite nice to get all that from them. Alright, so Gamber. Just take that for now. Imulant, the pure-hearted. Can't do that. Cover the morale. Alright, we're good. Now we want to head over to our Corver. And I take that off. Religion-wise... Yep, these can all come off. No edict. No edict. Good, good. Alright, so for Corvuria... Humiliate. And then covert action, build a spy network here. Stop building that over in Vern. Alright. I do need to actually approve some of these. Alright, so that is a couple of our ships versus a couple of theirs. Alright. Do want to take Arc Corver. That. Don't really care about exploring all that much. Culture-wise, oh, yep, here's some ogres. That's a thing. They don't have a flag yet, but they exist. Oh, Istralor pieces out, that's fine. Alright, come on. Okay, what if I don't do that? Let's do this. Alright, that's good. And then I take Nathalier. Alright. That way I can pay off loans, and then I can also, again, actually building my nation up a little bit. Oh, we're enslaving the orcs. Alright. Development needs to be at least 30. It is 30. Unrest needs to be other than 0. That's going to take a while. Nathalier is... Yep. One of those. Alright, so hypothetically, if I was to declare war on Vern, we get Viacog in. I think I could knock Istralor out. Moonhaven... Alright. Alrighty. Yep, here to trade. And my trade ships. This, protect trade, Everthil. Alrighty. It's good. Traders in the Monstrous Frontier. Do that real quickly. Excellent. Alright. And where is my other... Alright. Mint cost. Right, we are not even close. Development in provinces with copper. 25%, 20%, yeah. And they have to be in the Busanor region. So it's just these 5 provinces. Alright, next we want trade rate, yep. Sure, contracts. You're not. Just go ahead. Rise up. I wish I could join the Empire, but I cannot. Yep, give me that prestige, baby. Excellent vintage. Mural of Castellar. Yep, give me that prestige. Give me that prestige. Alright. And we need more buildings. Yep. Right. Yeah, this can come off for the moment, actually. Getting very close to having that done. What is happening with corruption? Overextension. Alright. Military is workforce, of course. Yeah, I'll integrate the humans. Mage of Renown. Yep. Prestige. Excellent. And then the Rolling Stones. Right. 20 transports. Let me build 20 transports. I'm just gonna sell these after this is done. I'll be taking a loss, but I needed to just get this mission done. Although I can actually raid this. Am I still able to even raid? I am. Nope, can't do that. Can do this one. That one. Team the port and let them die. just like that, I can now do... let's put a couple shipyards. Automatic faux pas. Do that. Amber, alright. Need 5,000 men in the bank as well. What's our autonomy over? It's pretty much 0. We will actually throw a... Nope, wrong one. There we are. Money ahoy. Impressive. Alright. Further to reconcile our differences. And moving these guys over this way. Alright, smoke on the water. With Port Xanzerbexis rapidly expanding, our reach across the Divinal has grown. This brings with it new opportunities and new rivals. The shadow port of Nathalier is inundated with a certain type of human that, for all of their trappings of civilization, remind us rather of ourselves. Nathalier also sits on one of the few habitable islands in Daravan's Folly, thus giving the port almost complete control of trade flowing from Ascan into the Divinal on the Nath. For this reason alone, Nathalier must be put under Nolish management. Moreover, the port will serve as a perfect perch from which to keep an eye on the Daravan's Folly, something the Zabacult insists is a matter of national security. Alright, so that allows us to do this one, which would allow us to attack Aranen, who I will not bother doing that. Alright, one more, and then we're good. And we need to improve relations with Vyakok. Alright. Alright. And Strelor, I would like them to break their alliance with... Oh, no. Strelor, what if I asked them to reduce their opinion of... Where is it? Wyvern. So they're actively hostile. And I do this, call Vyakok in. Okay. I want to take as much of Vern as I can. And decrease of monstrosity, middle of the road. Haven. Right. This guy's pretty good, actually. Tech-wise, Tech 9 versus Tech 9. Even if they got Tech 10 in the middle of the fight, it wouldn't do anything. Development. We need someone a little bit better than this. And... yeah. Get 2 more cannons. And begin building a spy network up on Wyvern. Alright. Armed with cannons. We got 6 cannons. Big old army. Our air is well connected. Do that. Need 1 more click. And then I will have it in this province. Alright. We'll put advancement on here and right here, and that's it right there. And for this, I need a lot of development there. Alright. Monstrous Conquest. Alright, we gotta knock Wyvern's army out quickly. Okay, there's Wyvern's army and capital dealt with. Siege these provinces down. Gold rush. Alright. New model army. Yep, take that. Embrace colonialism. Military tech cost. Losing power. Yep. Stack wipe. If we can hopefully siege this down, maybe we can convince the Magisterium to not continue to fight this stupid war. Courage, defensiveness, defensive edict. Oh yeah, more wizard. Alright. Magisterium. Nope, they don't want out. All diplomats. Alright. This episode is very long. I should have stopped recording a while ago. Anbennar. Get out. These guys. Get out. If I siege this down, Magisterium is almost guaranteed to leave. Alright, we gotta catch up on tech. No more development. Even though clicking the development button is very fun. Stellos is dead. Alright. Magisterium, do not want out. Are they like rivaled or something? Woodwell, get out of my war. Magisterium, they do not want out. Alright. Something like this. And then more reps. What's the Magisterium would like out? Apologize, I accidentally tabbed out for one moment. Apparently we are big enough to be rivaled by Laurent, which is something. Hello, good sir. Alright. They had to take out a loan. Alright. Like your money. And for Vern. All of this. Seems about appropriate. Alright. Istra War, buddy. Sure. And now it is time to improve with all those outraged countries. Some. Alright. Nation of at least 100. Yeah, I lost a ship. So, let me go ahead and build a one of these right there. Then protect trade, Neverthill. Take that off. come off as well. This can come off too. And this can come off. Monstrous diplomacy. Wyvern, Salahad, Sun Eaters. Right, this. Right, this way. Invite our cousins. While our cooperation with Bucellari has borne fruit, it has put our administration in an awkward position. On one side, the Immerkrim howl for greater integration, and our Bucellari subjects naturally favor this. On the other hand, the Zabakol grumble that we have lost our way, and many among our Knoll subjects agree. Plainly speaking, the state of affairs can only harm Igrox if it is allowed to continue. So we will need backers of our own, people loyal only to our new nation. And it just so happens there is no shortage of people, no shortage of Knolls across the Divinal seeking a better life. Let us extend a paw of friendship to them, bring them to Igrox, and let them settle among the Bucellari in the Bucellari countryside, still devastated by the conquests. With the influx of subjects loyal to the Hill Throne, this will nip factional strife in the bud. The docks of Port Xanzerbexis have never seen such chaos. A dizzying array of ships from every port in the Divinal brings Nolish refugees guarded by lurking Igroxan navy ships. Thousands of yips, barks, and laughs combined into a true cacophony. The city bureaucrats and royal administrators strained under the massive influx, processing the names, families, professions, and backgrounds of the new arrivals to be distributed among the new nation as quickly as possible. For some Knolls, there was joy and hope that their lives might not be so brutal, that they might be able to live long and happy lives. Others carried the harshness of their former lives with them, thinking this would be an opportunity to feast upon the weak, bald pups that had laid down with the humans. One such pirate captain advanced upon a garishly dressed Igroxcan Knoll, wearing foppish clothing and assorted finery. What that sea scourge captain had not anticipated was that under the puff sleeves was hard steel that nearly broke the pirate's teeth when he bit down on the other Knoll's shoulder. A sword pierced the corsair through the chest, and the Igraxan mercenary soldier growled with disdain, cowing the rebellious elements in the crowd. Please form an orderly queue. Alright. So we now gain a whole bunch of development. Gotta hit that button. Let's hit it twice. I shouldn't have done that. I know. I'm aware. Couldn't help myself. It's like an addiction. We'll take this one. Alright, goblins flee our lands. More the merrier. Wyvern mark. Right, this guy. There we are. Sit right here. More education for the air. Yep. Pay off those loans. Alright, cores, hurrah. Let's swap to the standard. Right now I just need to get... let me actually go ahead and accept the Vernman real quick. Not necessarily going to keep this, just need to accept them since they now make up a decent portion of our nation. Two of a kind. Level 3 military advisor for half off. I will certainly take that. And we have lost all of those transports, which is great. And I want to group with outraged countries. I am going to build 2 Carracks. Just so my navy has a little bit of oomph to it. Money of monsters in war. Right, that. Naval research wrong. Take the prestige loss. Alright. Tolerance of the true faith, yeah. One of the following must be true, either prosperous or improved. I think I'll probably just wait for the prosperity. Let's get this. Right, all of these guys get together. And I want them to protect trade in Everthil. Yeah. And we're making so much money. Let me also start actually improving some of these. One out of this war. And let's rival is. Right. Coalition. It's not worth anything. Who's in it? Gallane. I can knock them out. Do I have any loans? Ooh, good. Alright, they need to come back. Relations, improve relations here. Improve relations here. we great power yet? We are. Diplomatic faux pas. Wily smugglers. Oh. Build 5 infantry. 2 cavalry. Results of foreign education. Excellent. Let me wait here right second. Alright. Now, it's time to send an insult, viciously mock them. Will be the last thing we do. Once upon a time, when the Kingdom of the Hills dressed so fine, Knowles Gate was our gateway into the borders. Now it is merely another wall of our prison, standing even after the fall of Busalar. An even greater affront, that is the area still inhabited by Knowles, even though it is ruled by humans. What a travesty. The commanders of our border guards have proposed an unusual solution to the problem, extortion with boulders. We control the heights overlooking the human lands, and we could do significant amount of damage to the local infrastructure if we pushed a few rocks around. A suggestion could be made to the human lord, saying this horrible risk could be avoided if only Knowles Gate was given back to its rightful masters. If they accept, everyone wins. If they defy us, they will be unable to resist. To them, this type of warfare is a complete unknown. They are completely unprepared to deal with a rolling stone. Alright. That's done with. Right. Further preparations. Yeah, I need the stability more than I need the prestige. Church development here. And 1, 2, 3, 4. Priest and enlistment. Yep, working on that. Entice human migrants. Would really love a, what's it called? Barrier. Enough. Alright, I'm going to end this episode here at 3 hours because I have played way too long. I want to thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and have a good day.